Good morning. Welcome to the Java Cafe, Java fam.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Today is Monday, May 20th, 2024, and it is a Mental Health Monday. Listen, we were scheduled to have a guest this morning, but we got an email early this morning, and we could tell that our emails were going to their spam folder. And so the confirmation, the flyer, the link to log in, everything, I guess they got last night. So we don't have the guest this morning. It is Mental Health Monday, and we're going to spend some time talking about mental health. This month for me, in my 52 years, without drama, well, I won't say without drama, without a lot of hype and just chaotic crisis things, this month around mental health awareness for me, and a lot of things that's going on, some things I've alluded to here and there, and pretty soon we'll be giving some updates about a couple of things. We're going to talk about mental health and the importance of being aware of it. We have not did it in a long time, where just yours truly, just Jimmy, is going to talk about it this morning. And so we're going to go into the Java Cafe in just a few moments. Do me a favor and share this with someone. We're actually sharing some information today about a lot of things that's going on in the community, availability of some fun spaces, some resources, places you can go to create learning and Black joy, like the Museum of Science, also information about what's going on with White Stadium. And so with that in mind, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be back with you in just a couple of seconds.
This is fuel, this is growth, and this is our Earthshot, a reboot of belief in our ability to live sustainably, a renewable source of the one resource we can't live without: hope.
So we're back this morning. Just wanted to give you that information about the National Women's Soccer League and the Boston division. They are having a community benefits meeting, and that is taking place tomorrow evening from 5:30 to 7:30 at the Bruce Boland Building, 2300 Washington Street, of course, in Roxbury. You can RSVP at nwslboston.com, nwslboston.com, and we'll put that on the screen in just a second. But let's go in the Java Cafe and see who is in this morning. And do me a favor, in the comments, put one word that talks about your mental health this morning. I see my brother J. Devin Cole over on Instagram this morning. Good to see you in the room this morning. Brother Vaughn, good morning to you. Good to see you in the room. Mama Java, good morning to you. Good to see you in the room this morning. Nicole, good morning to you. Good to see you in the room as always. Sister Debbie, I have a t-shirt for you, a Mother's Board t-shirt. So I need to figure out how to get it to you. I'm not up on Norfolk Street anymore, but we'll figure out maybe we need to see you at an event soon. So you can be with the Mother's Board and chill with them and see them. But good to see you in the room as always. MZM, good morning. Good to see you in the room. I'm chuckling about our text thread last week. Good to see you in the room, and I will see you on June 15th. What event were we talking about? and you made the comment. But Opal, good morning. Good to see you in the room as well. Sharon Cornelius, good morning. Good to see you in the room. Pastor Marion, good morning to you. Good to see you in the room over on LinkedIn. My one word, should you ask, is regarding my mental health is grateful. So Pastor Marion said she is grateful this morning. On the opposite end of that, Mama Java is saying that she is overwhelmed. So you all send some good thoughts and prayers and positivity her way. Opal says that she is blessed this morning. Good to see you in the room as always, Opal, and thank you for your support and always sharing. Michelle D. Smith, good to see you in the room this morning. Buenos dias and shalom to you as well this morning. And the service today. Absolutely. I wanted to just send regards to a good friend and sister. If you don't mind tagging her, Monica, to Consuela Green and also Stanley Green, his uncle. Consuela, her son transitioned. I believe it was last week or the week before. I saw the notification late last week. And so, Consuela, we are sending you support. We're sending you love and prayers. Also to Stanley Green, his uncle as well, a great advocate in our community. And we just send that prayer and support to you, and wish that you go through the process as you should in a healthy manner, but in grieve as you should, and as long as it takes you. And so we definitely want to just hold both of them up, and the whole entire family, his dad as well. And so, Monica, if you could tag her, thank you so much. Pastor Marion, thank you so much for the support, as well as Opal and Consuela. Monica, thank you for tagging both of them. It is greatly appreciated. Sister Debbie says that she is feeling content this morning, which is a good thing. Nicole said that she is overthinking. Sharon Cornelia said that she is at peace. And so we have a mixture of things in the room as far as our mental health. And so in 2020, we thought it was important to start to talk about mental health. The pandemic was going on. A lot of people were home and isolated by themselves. We actually started before the pandemic talking about mental health. A lot of people don't recognize, and some are just familiar with Java with Jimmy, but there was impact prior to March 21st, 2020. And so we wound up doing Mental Health Mondays. And it's interesting because at the health fair, one of the providers, and also at an event that I was at, one of Boston's biggest personalities, just made some comments about, Jimmy, you're out here talking about mental health and health. You need to be the best example and the first partaker. And so, I've shared with you all things about journaling. I've shared that I was going to therapy at one point, and been thinking about going back to it again. I'll get to the point. There have been a lot of things going on in my life that, one, remind me that I'm a Black man, and two, remind me that I'm a Black man who happens to be gay. And it has been very interesting. I know a majority of Christian folks in here, not all, but a general tenet that is not a preferred lifestyle in that community. And one day we'll have the conversation about whether your stance on it or not. There is a impact on the individual away from Christian beliefs. Let me just name that, just in the world, in society, and in the Black community. We're going to have that conversation one day too. So a lot there to unpack, but that's been something that's going on, and it's been demonstrated through two vehicles and veins that I have given time, talent, and what's the other thing? Time, talent, and some say treasure. Not so much treasure, but time and talent, definitely. And one thing that Bernard Bragg taught me was to not have expectations. When you don't have expectations, it is a lot less likely that you will be disappointed. I'm somewhere on the other end of the spectrum in Jimmy and who I am, oh, I have a lot of expectations. And a lot of those expectations are based on how I endear, how I treat people. And there has often been an expectation that that endearing and that treatment would be reciprocated in a level playing field manner. And often it has not been. And here of late, there have been some situations that my time and talent, the reciprocation of the time and talent that I've put in, some of the response has not been reciprocated. Can I just frame it like that? I'm trying to do well. And let me just name this. For those of you that know me well, good morning, Coach. Good to see you in the room, Coach Chris, over on Instagram. He's saying good morning to the Java family. And it's that time again, as it is every Monday through Thursday at 9 a.m. here in the Java Cafe. Let me also be very real. There was a time in my life where the reference to Jimmy was twofold. One was Ratchery, player, Jimmy. And the other one was sometimes displayed on this outlet and others. So I got an update from Sister Debbie. I just saw in the comments. Sometimes my response to some things like this, the way that I got it out was to go off on the people, on social media. And I want to be very real. That is an outlet that, though no longer employed, it's knocked on my door. And I'll be very real. The benefit of it was nothing but an outlet. I got my it off and I said what I had to say. I said what I said, and it is what it is. And while for me, in the moment, I got rid of, and as we talked about last week with our therapist about anxiety, it's good to get it out. Now, I'm going to be real and transparent. One, there was some evolution and some growing and some maturity that was going on prior to Java with Jimmy. However, with Java with Jimmy, you know, that evolution in certain circumstances, whether it is full evolution or partial, I have to, in some cases, act like it's in full evolution because there's a brand to think about. And when I tell you that that fine line of just calling things out and going left is very fine. It is thinner than thread. It is thinner, probably 1 millimeter, before something can be recognized on a microscope. That's how thin it is. And I'm going somewhere in the context of mental health. Without utilizing that very poignant, in the moment, get it out outlet, I've had to internalize a lot of things. And not only because I can't go off, what has contributed to me wanting to go off, there's been internalizing. I was going to say internalization. There's been internalizing of factors and dynamics that play into the two spaces to which I've given time and talent, and the reciprocation of presumed expected regard, endearment, and treatment by both. I've had to internalize those with also not having the outlet of old Jimmy. And so where am I going? What am I saying? Is that I'm going to be very real. There have been times in the past 60 days where right there in that kitchen, in the middle of just like pacing, getting off a call, cleaning, or doing whatever, the load and the weight of the impact of all of it hits. And there have been times where I didn't physically do it, but if I was to help you get a picture of a couple of moments, just picture me standing somewhere and I'm just going, but in a very animated video AI, extra fast, just chaotic moment of realizing that mental health is mental wellness and taking the outlets, meditation, addressing things, being your authentic self is real. And so in this month of mental health awareness, though we don't have our guests today, I'm opening up myself and being very transparent about the importance of it. It is very, very real. I'm good. I just felt in my spirit that I just needed to say that. I'm good. Without going into detail, I'm practicing some self-care over the last week, over this coming week. And I did this a couple of years ago and I joked about it. And Ramilda, who I think has seen some demonstration of my stress, there's some context there, said, we need to get, she said, pay for or do something. She said, we need to put Jimmy on a sabbatical. And then there's the personal things in life, so probably through after my birthday in September, I'm really going to take some time and do a lot of self-examination, self-improvement, and focus on me and the platform. There's a third area that is very interesting, that I can't, it's a, which one is first? 1A, 2A. There's situation one. And in part of situation one, there is a 1A and a 1B. And I'll just say that there are subsets of valid going off that I can't employ. One, because unfortunately, well, I'm not going to go into that. So might be a good time to take a break. Let's go into the comments before we take a break. Actually, let's take a quick break. A reminder about the meeting tomorrow, and also about some healthcare things as we're talking about health and wellness. And we'll be back with you in just a couple of seconds.
I'm a very sensitive person, and I feel the pain of my people. They know me, they call on me, and I assure them that I'm not a provider, but I am one who cares. I always say to them, well, it's better to know than not to know, because if you know, you can do something about it. Think about the loved ones around you. Think about the ones that love seeing you come through that door. Take the step and get tested. That's it.
Save lives and get screened for colon cancer. For more information, visit boston.gov/cancer.
So, folks, we are doing it's Mental Health Monday here in the Java Cafe. And if you're just joining us, go back and watch. We just did sort of a check-in. I opened up and shared some things around the realization around this month of mental health awareness that we need to keep in mind. And so let's go into the comments and check in. I think I got everybody that's been in the room so far. Sister Debbie was telling me that she got her t-shirt. So I think, is it you? I thought there was one here for you. So maybe you might have two. Michelle says, in reference to us talking about Christianity and sexuality and what would Jesus do? Let me get up. She done wrote a whole speech, Jesus. As a mature Christian, my opinion is, what would Jesus do? Everyone is welcome. God unconditionally loves everyone. And so should those of us who represent Christ. Additionally, we all should strive to live by treat others the way we desire to be treated, in the context of what I was saying earlier. Thank you for that. Pops, good to see you in this room this morning. Just a programming note, Pops will be with us. As many of you know, he had a healthcare situation with a mini stroke a few months ago, and he's going to come with us because May is also Stroke Awareness Month. And so Pops is going to come share a story of what he's been through, but also accomplishment. If you follow him on social media, you know that the brothers he's not letting us get him. So Pops, good to see you in the room as always. Nicole said, I got a diagnosis of ADHD. I will always feel like I've had it. Listen, let me be 100 with you. As recently as last week, getting my hair cut, my barber. I also want to just mention we had the service for Brother Mark this week. But my barber, Roberto, I was talking with him and it got quiet and I just started rambling off just stuff that I had to do. Him and one of my exes, you know, they made the comment about, does your brain ever shut off? And do you know how to shut it off? The answer right now is not. I do. But as I said, from now for a few months, I'm going to do better at figuring out how to employ those things. And so to Nicole's point, one, thank you for being transparent. A lot of us, I think, have ADHD, different levels of it. And not that we need to go out and seek in all type of psychopharmacology. There are things like lists and time frames and apps and whatnot that can help us. And so, Miss Teresa, good morning, Miss T. Good to see you in the room as always. Pastor Marion said, going off is not always healthy. If you're just joining us, I was just mentioning that going off used to be one of my outlets. I don't employ that as much anymore. I had to recently. And I might tell you all about it just as a joke because it was very serious. And so when I tell you about it and who was involved, you're going to get the context of it. Sister Soraya, good to see you in the room. Hopefully you've connected with Kathy to get ready to get your custom-made sneakers. Also got in trouble a little bit because we made a mistake at the health fair. Sister Soraya's grandson got the other pair of custom-made sneakers, and a couple of folks were asking, can young people register for the raffle? Let me tell you about Sister Soraya. She probably got all them registered as soon as she walked in. And so he was able to get his sneakers as well. And so hopefully you're in the process of getting those. Take pictures, tag us once you get them, and Kathy as well, and let us know what you did and what you had put on them rather. Michelle D. Smith, my brother James, you should never have to internalize our behavior from others. You and everyone should always feel comfortable and safe to be their authentic self. Whoever can accept you for you or for who you are, they don't need to be in your life. That is individuals, and that's groups, and that's entities. And I felt a little old Jimmy there, so we're going to move on. Nicole says, I've been getting upset about little things. I feel like I don't fit in. I can't get my point across even when I have the words I want to convey in my head. I've been like this for a very long time, tearing up. So, Nicole, there are a lot of us that are like that. Heidi's in the room. She can probably attest to some of that as much as well. There are a lot of us that are unique individuals, and we are not to conform to the mold of how the world perceives us. It does not also, and I'm speaking more to me, it does not also give us the license to I am who I am, and I'm just going to be rude, nasty, and I'm not attributing that to you. But just as I'm talking about this, I had that thought. And so, it is, I can only go back in a lot of these situations, mine personal, and mention to you what what Coach Meg said in January of 22 and 23. We had the conversation about integration. And, it's not that we are accepting that feeling, Nicole. It's okay to have that feeling, but don't stay there. Integrate that you are unique. Integrate that you are not understood. Integrate that you're operating probably on a playing field in some spaces where others are not. Life experience, gifts, desires, goals, and who you are, you know, um, it comes with the territory, unfortunately. And if you integrate that into who you are, you don't accept disrespect. You don't stay in that place and be hard on yourself. But the impact of knowing who you are and the results of it and the impact of you being your authentic self, the results of that sometimes when it's negative doesn't hit as hard. And so if you integrate that into the process, it helps a little bit. So again, thank you for being transparent. And then that with we got a lot in common. Someone leave that right there. Heidi, good to see you in the room this morning. Michelle is also saying self-care should always be everyone's number one priority. It is the airplane, the air, the thingy, the mask. If you lose pressure in the cabin, put the mask on yourself first. Take care of yourself first. Miss Teresa said commercial break. Heidi said, is I sure she could speak to when we were talking about ADHD and probably Nicole's other transparent moment. Writing out my thoughts usually helps me. Pastor Marion said that she is praying for me, as always, much appreciated. Pops is saying something I've come to realize because of my recent experience. If you sense the need of release, retreat, etc., it's probably past due. Why? Oh, you want me to answer? Pops, can I answer that to be real? Because we don't practice good time management, because of our pride. And what I mean, and I had to realize this a couple of years ago. I think it was in a conversation with Helena over from Meet Boston is over on Instagram. We're going to be chatting with them soon and doing some things. Had a great event with them a few weeks ago. Helena, good to see you in the room over on Instagram. But Pops, my point is that I realized a couple of years ago that part of the reason that some of us don't practice self-care is because of our pride. And what I mean by that is there is an element of being a helper and providing service and a servant leader that involves the notion that if I don't do it, it won't be done. And that just helped me in one of my situations. Pops, thank you. And that is a sense of that is a little prideful. There's nothing wrong with the sense of healthy pride. But we just have to own that. And so for me, poor time management, part of me that's like, if I don't do it, it's not going to be done. And this is varying times when these things I'm naming have played out in varying situations. It's not just blanket things in every situation, but some things that have come up as to answering your question, sir, as you said, why wait? Let me name another. Let me name another thing. I almost can't get that out. And with the M's in it. You all know, and I'm very transparent. I can't fully, it's just part of who I am, Nicole, how the way I'm wired. I'm doing better. This do not disturb and not being on my phone and still a little guilt and feeling funny here and there and with some situations, but finances. I got ready to stutter. Y'all know that part of my good self-care to fully be off somewhat involves an M word. If you know what that M word is, put it in the comments. And finances is a part of the weight. And also, Pops, being an entrepreneur, I'm going to be transparent. We move in the public health space. COVID is dissipating. A lot of commercials, a lot of Jimmy, hey, we need to get this to your audience. Those things monetized the platform. However, COVID is dissipating. And so there's not that much outreach, as well as people have their own social media accounts. They can post their own stuff. And so I've had to adjust some things, and there's more in-person things. And so I got to be here to host things, to host panels, to be on panels, to, do different things. And so that's a part of it. So Pops, all of that for the last 3 minutes to answer your question, but it's very real. And in the vein of what Pops is saying, those moments that I referred to in the first segment about being in my kitchen and literally feeling in my head like everything was just I wanted to. So be transparent. When I get real upset, one of my old outlets is to break stuff or punch a wall. And in the past couple of months, I have stood in my room or in my house and and evaluated what either has the most sentimental, the most monetary, just what can I break? And being even more transparent, I haven't punched a wall, but I've looked at walls and just imagine what it would be like to just and just yeah. And part of the imagination was I didn't want to deal with, my fist. And so to Pop's point about holding things in and not making a break a priority, and in this vein of mental health awareness month, those things can, if you don't find other outlets, they can hit your body. Not going in and telling Pop's story or alluding anything to his situations about anger or anything like that. And we'll hear more from him, I believe, on May 30th is the date Pops is going to be with us. And so great question, Pops. We got a whole segment with you there. Some of the mothers are just saying good morning to some other comments. Miss Teresa, who is in the room, you were talking with one of your exes. Well, that's the problem right there. Now, I didn't talk with one of my exes. I was saying that he made the observation one day that my brain he actually was like, you can't turn off. Do you even know how? So no, all three of which, no communication. Two of which I have no problem with it. The last one, though, Lord have mercy, Jesus. Teresa McIntyre is in the room. Good morning. Good to see you in the room. You all say hello. I don't believe I have seen her in a lot or before. So say good morning to Teresa and welcome her to the Java family. Real Java is in the room. Yes, you're late. Go back and watch the beginning reel. I shared some things, some of which you know about, but yeah. Miss Teresa said, listen, my motto is if someone doesn't accept me for who I am, it is their loss because I'm phenomenal. I know that's right. That's Nicole. I'm gonna leave that there. All right. Pop says we're not supposed to be superheroes. Pastor Marion agrees with that. Miss Teresa said I go through withdrawal when Jimmy goes on D&D. There's a little bit too, but I'm doing better, Miss Teresa. Just in general, Pat, not messing with you. And did I say when I get excited, I start to stutter. All right, Miss Teresa, we're catching up with comments. If you're just joining us this morning, we're talking about mental health awareness. Go back in the beginning. If you are just joining us and did not see, it just opened up and shared some things about where I've been and why it's important to pay attention to your mental health. And Anthony Davis Sr. from the DMV area asked a question and a whole dissertation on why we don't prioritize it. And I was very open and transparent. So for the trolls and those that just, waiting for an announcement or whatever, keep waiting. Jimmy, even Superman took his cape. Ooh, took off his cape. Where's that desktop punching bag? Right over there. And I can't, I used to have it on the whiteboard. There's not really a material here to where I can put it and play with the little things. I still have it. Miss Teresa, I got the punching bag. I got the Lego Java Cafe over there. What else? I got on a hoodie. It made me. Shout out to Mr. Risa for keeping me branded. Her and the kids, Double E's always looking out. I almost said Pastor Real. Sorry, I'm late. It's 9:30 on Wall Street. So, I'm not messing with you. So, if you're just joining us, we're talking about mental health awareness. Shout out to my brother Brandon, who was over listening on Instagram as well. Loving Lexi some of the Instagram names I can't even, and I don't know who the people are by the Instagram name. So we're going to get ready to wrap up. Wow, it is 10:39. I really ran my mouth this morning. Just Jimmy today. Again, our guest, a lot of our logistic emails went to their shout out to the Twitter peeps. What's going on over on Twitter? Hold on. It's just Jimmy today, so I can go check. What is Twitter doing? Oh, shout out to hey, everybody listening over on Twitter. Yeah. Shout out to Real Boston Media listening over on Twitter. Well, it says Facebook. So I think that's the context of what you said, or something going on Twitter that I need to be made aware of. It's 9:39. What did I? Anyway, I'm getting ready to get off of here because Real is on here messing with me and probably sitting at his desk laughing at the fact that I'm getting all jacked up over here. Listen, we're going to take another quick break before we get ready to go. Please keep in mind the availability to find out the community benefit of what's going on over at a lot of things that are happening in the White Stadium area. Check this out right here. All right, folks, we're going to get ready to wrap up. A few things to keep in mind. June 21st and 22nd, keep in mind that we are doing it once again with the Boston Waterfront Coalition. We are going to have a morning event on the 21st, and on the 22nd, we are going out to Java with Jimmy's going to be on the water, literally like in and around and nothing but water around us. And so that's taking place on June 22nd. Also, blah, blah, blah. The first week in June will probably be either some old show replays. I may have some guest hosts. I have to take some downtime for my health, and have nothing major, have a procedure, dental. Y'all know that I'm very honest that my smile is purchased. Wasn't always well at the dentist. It's been very, this last iteration of dealing with the dentist, shout out, she doesn't want to be named, she doesn't want to be interviewed, but this dentist that I have now and the other one that's doing the surgery, two women, and one is the one that's doing the surgery. Kind of asked her because it has to be a wisdom tooth extraction, and that's what the surgery is. I got to go under because a couple of things they can't do it with just the Novocaine. And so I'm out at the waiting area, and I asked her because she's about 5, 6, settled mother type. So I asked the receptionist, I said, listen, I got a couple of wisdom teeth that she gonna need to get in there and, get it out. She said, did you see her guns? So when she walked back out, you see my voice crack? When she walked back out, I looked at her arm and they scheduled it for 45 minutes. She was like, 45 minutes. So first week in June, we're going to take some downtime. Just because they're probably going to tell me to not be running my mouth as much and all that other stuff. And so we'll get you updated about that. Final thing, as far as announcements, for this week, we have some great folks coming into the room. I'm excited that tomorrow morning I get to speak with Dr. Lucy Loomis, who was one of the TEDx speakers sponsored by TEDx Roxbury a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to check in with her about women's health. She's an OBGYN specialist, but sure has the purview into what's going on with maternal health and a lot of social determinants of health when it comes to women. So we're going to chat with her tomorrow at 9 a.m. We hope that you can join us then. And also on Thursday, we are bringing back into the Java Cafe Tai Court Odima, who was with us. She ran for a school committee position, I believe was in Randolph. She's going to come and check back in with us. It was not successful for her, but she's going to come back and give us an update and also on her experience. And then in the 9:30 hour, we will speak with Yvelande Joseph, who is the head coach for the Road to Wellness race. As you all know, Uncle Thaddeus started that some years ago. It takes place starting over at Dermot Community Health Center and goes throughout different areas of Roxbury. So that's taking place in September. But we're going to speak with both Tai and Yvelande on Wednesday at 9:30 a.m. In reference to Thursday, we are in the process of seeing if we can switch a couple of things around, where I'd like to talk with our director of nightlife for the city of Boston in the evening. And we have someone that moves in the space of lupus to chat with us, because I believe this is also Lupus Awareness Month scheduled for the evening. And so I'm trying to ask Denisa right before the show, we could see if they could switch. And so that's programming for the rest of this week. Also keep June 21st and June 22nd in mind. I am going to shoot. Alexa, cancel. I was on too long today. For those of you that are joining and seeing that for the first time, that has become a thing now. I forgot to turn the volume to 0. So I need to make a note and go over a checklist. Forget tech. Go over house checklist. That's it for announcements. I wanted to also say this, and I say this often with love. I say it with real, also some logistics and being sensitive, that a lot of our mothers, my mother, my aunt, and others, when I name certain events, you all want to come and support, not just support, but just come out and have a good time and be a part. And I know often I name that you all don't necessarily have to come, because I understand the limitations. I understand the strain. I understand that, we're going to be out. I can't go into the details, but I'm not stressing y'all to come to everything. Y'all don't have to be present for everything. I know that I have the prayers, love, and support of my mother's board and others. And so I just wanted to name that as we get ready to talk about things coming up in June. All right. I believe that's it for me. I don't know if I should go in, and y'all done already got y'all hour for those on UCB. Let's go in and check the comments. I see. All right. I'm going to catch up with comments, because I see a couple where it looks like I'm in trouble. Okay. Miss Teresa, how much longer do I have to go? September. No, sir. I checked in this week, and just, I've also, since we talk about mental health awareness and whatnot, I realized that the nature of what I do, not just on camera, but behind camera, meetings and stuff, I realized that little thing right there, that device, it is interesting. And it's a joke of some, but it's serious for me. Talking on the phone Zoom is the worst. If I can turn a necessary Zoom into a phone call, I will. I could turn a phone call into a text, I will. And there is a mental health thing there that yeah. So, not, Miss T, I'm definitely going to check it, and I'm not going to be on total D&D in 2021. No, Darren Howell told me I was on D&D I realized I put D&D on June at the ICA, and I didn't come off of D&D until September. That was crazy, but it was nice. I'm getting ready to get off of here. We're going to Real Boston Media. My guy, always proud of you, sir. More to come. Appreciate you, brother. Pops is saying the smile is key. Listen, especially in this space, and people have been joking. Those that know I'm, going to have this little surgery or whatever. Am I doing the whole news anchor veneers? No, I'm not going to get up here and look like Hitman on Wild 'N Out with a whole bunch of pillows, new white pillows coming out from my gums. No. Health, and while health is being addressed, And no, because somebody made a joke. They said, "You're gonna move that mic." No, I'm not. I just one, the aesthetic and the sound of it, and two, just Anyway, I'm getting ready to ramble. I'm getting y'all off of here. Yeah, Alexa, I forgot to turn it down. Miss Teresa said the robot girlfriend, and never mind. What does she say? I'm going to hobble down even when you say hobble down. I don't know. Oh, I hear you. I ain't messing with you, Miss Teresa. All right, that's it for me, everybody. Thank you. What's up? Lord Jesus, I almost said your government. Squeaky, over listening on Instagram. Good to see you. Georgie, real. Georgie's listening to Java with Jimmy over on Instagram right now. For those of you that don't know, that is my little brother, aka owner of Estella, the most aggravating, loving, cool, give back, stuck in his ways, love the community, dedicated to the community, brothers in this city. And so shout out to brother Georgie. Some may know has held her up. Newt is in the Thaddeus. Hi, Thaddeus. Uncle, we need to check in. I've been leaving you alone. It was funny because yesterday I was like, okay, we've been talking about giving Uncle Thaddeus space. And for those of you that don't know, whatever. But I thought about you yesterday. I said, okay, the space thing. And you'll be proud of me because we'll talk, but we're talking about, in the essence of things, we're talking about just being real about mental wellness. This is Mental Wellness Month. You caught me here probably at the end rambling. It's time for me to get off. And UCB loves it because they think they're going to get 90 minutes today, but it's not happening. He wants to see how the Java teenies work. Anyway, I'm getting off of here. Georgie's going. You all have a great day. Don't forget, tomorrow morning, we're talking with Dr. Lucy Loomis, who was a TEDx speaker and also OGBYN specialist. Going to check in with her tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. and check in on women's health. And don't forget, also on Wednesday, we're going to check in with Tyee Court, Odema, and also Yvel Joseph. Thaddeus, I just mentioned you a couple of minutes ago, actually, about the 5K Road to Wellness event that's taking place in September. Keep your ears open also for Black Joy Weekend, as well as there's another thing that Thaddeus is doing for young men, I believe in October. So keep your ears open for that. For real, for sure, it's 9:51. 9:51 real, not 10:51. It's 9:51. I'm getting ready to get off of here for sure this time. And we will see you guys tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. when we talk to Dr. Lucy Loomis about, I don't know why this video won't load. So we're just going to go. It didn't work for me. Have a great day, everybody. And we'll talk to you soon. And remember, not just this month, but pay attention to your mental wellness. And if you feel you're dealing with mental illness or you're stuck in places, and they become a challenge for you, talk to someone, pastor, a trained person, a therapist. And let's just mention Pure Spark, who was our partner for this Monday. For those of you that tuned in for our guest this morning, our logistics emails kept going to her spam. And so she just got them this morning. And so we'll try to get her rescheduled. But it's Mental Health Monday. Pay attention to your mental health for this Mental Health Awareness Month. Again, for sure, I'm out of here. Have a great day, everybody. And we'll see you tomorrow morning with Dr. Lucy Loomis at 9 a.m. Talk to you soon.